And we're back on another exciting episode of Starfleet 4. I'm gonna take my Sean on the live stream and we're gonna talk Trek till we can't no more.
I like that. I like that 30-second intro you got there. It's got some fat bass.
The doctor hated it.
Really? It's got thick bass. God damn. I love it.
I'm gonna take my Worf to the hollow deck. We're gonna fight crime till we can't no more. See, it's so catchy. I don't even know the real song, Old Town Road, is it, right?
Yes, by Lil Nas.
I don't even know that song. I just know your song.
How could you not know the song?
I don't know. I know it because
it is the record-breaking, longest-lasting #1 song.
Really?
Hot 100. Yes, I think it was like 7 or 8 weeks. It's the longest #1 song that there's ever been.
Wow.
That's amazing.
In case our audience don't know what we're talking about Sean just dropped a parody song yesterday.
A hot new track.
Oh, you got to do a live performance.
Sing for the entire video. He wants us to sing for the entire video.
He just wants us to sing. We're so excited about Lower Decks, but we don't know.
I want my merch. I want my Lower Decks merch.
I know. I'm such a.
I want my merch now. God damn it.
You can blame either the United States Postal Service or the amount of corona infections in Florida.
I think it's a COVID thing. I think we're going to blame it on the COVID. We're not going to blame singular people here. It's just the customs won't let my merch come by, and so I'm going to have to take pieces of paper and write Star Trek Lower Decks on them and then stick them on my shirt for my first video. That's what I'm going to have to do.
Do you realize how guilty that makes me feel, like live on the air? Do you thrive?
It is not you. It is not you.
It's still
StarTrek.com or whatever it was, whatever website I wanted to buy my logo.
And then I got you the coolest mug, and you were disappointed. That didn't happen live.
I wasn't disappointed. My mug is unique and cool. I love it. My mug is the best mug.
You're like, what is it? Oh, it's not a Lower Decks mug. Okay. I was like, what? Oh my gosh.
That's a positive. No, I was expecting a Lower Decks mug.
I know. And I failed.
That is not true.
I was like, can I clean my mug and make it look brand new and send it to Sean?
That is not true. I was happy that it wasn't a Lower Decks mug because I was thinking to myself, oh, he bought me a Lower Decks mug, but I've already got a Lower Decks shirt. I don't need both. And when I saw it wasn't a Lower Decks mug, I was happy. I was like, oh, this is way better. This is
if that's really how you feel, then thank you. But yes, I have a feeling I disappointed you.
No, I'm disappointed in the either U.S. or Canadian customs.
Yeah. So just so the audience knows what we're talking about, who I think it's just Fathery right now. So welcome, Fathery. Do we want to get Fathery on the? If you're available, Fathery, you're welcome on the air with us.
Anyone is welcome.
This is just the hype episode, so I don't know what we're gonna talk about.
This is a video about nothing, and
like the show about nothing, like Seinfeld. It's Seinfeld in space.
I would watch Seinfeld in space.
It was fun rewatching a little bit of the Lower Decks discussion we did on Starfleet Point because we were so hyped 3 months ago and we're still hyped now. And 2 days from now,
great episode.
It is a great episode.
And they kill her, boom. Just like Picard's family.
Do you think that's going to happen at the end of like season 1 of Lower Decks? Just like Boimler dies for no reason. Like it's super funny, and then all of a sudden, like a main character has to die.
Not in the first season.
You know, you're like season 3 maybe. Could cartoons can cartoons die?
What? Well, yes.
Did you?
If they apply the same rules as the rest of Star Trek and Lower Decks, then yes, people can die, right? Like that's, you know what I mean. This is one of Fathery's fears, by the way. They want them to adhere to the. He wants Star Trek Lower Decks to adhere to the kind of like the in-universe rules and kind of mechanics of the rest of Star Trek.
Like the animated series.
Yeah, like the animated series.
Right? Like he wants it to be like that.
Yeah,
but I don't think that, like, it's very clear that it's not going to be like that, right? Like to me, it's evident that's already out the window.
Yes and
It's a
no.
hope. It's sorry, Father, if you're still in the audience. It's a hope. You're just not gonna. You're gonna be
I
disappointed.
think
That's
it
like not
will
a.
be to some certain extent. Like it's not like we're gonna see bloody Santa Claus fly by, in the middle of space.
By the way, we are declaring this segment Father's Fears. Uh,
Father Spears. Great.
This is the segment of our live discussion called Father's Fears. So, Father, if you have any other fears, oh, we got.
You're supposed to be working right now.
I
Are you not
can.
afraid of your
It's
boss? Father fears.
we can do that. Like I can tell you that when you come on Starfleet Boy, it's like that Voyager episode with that ship that was changing time by destroying whole civilizations. So our show is temporally exempt. So when you come on Starfleet Boy, you're not actually a part of the space time continuum that you're in. So you can just come on and like mute yourself or like whatever when you have to like work, But like it's up to you.
If that were true, then we would be doing live discussions all the time at your work.
Right. That's
Yeah.
true. But my work's a little different. I work for the temporal
Oh,
investigation agency, so they know when I'm in a time bubble, and it's not it's not that easy. I can't do
is it
it.
Year of Hell? It is. It's Year of Hell.
That's the Year of Hell two-parter. Exactly. Thank you. That was supposed to be a whole season. Did I understand that correctly? Like they wanted it to be a whole season?
That would have been amazing. So many things would have been amazing with
And I have
Voyager.
another question. So in that Year of Hell episode, there's a not a quantum, sorry,
It's a
a
good episode for
temporal.
Chakotay, by the way. I think Chakotay is strongly undervalued and undershown in
He's
Voyager,
great in that episode.
but he gets some good screen time and some
He's
good moments
super great.
in that
And also
regard.
the actor who's in it, whose name I can't remember right now, who plays the
Oh, he's
main. He's
mad
the
talent.
president. Yes, he's the president of the Federation, and he was the dad on that '70s show. So he's a
I haven't seen
really
that.
great actor. Yeah, he's been on Star Trek. He's no stranger to Star Trek. But that episode also, the Year of Hell episode, also references First Contact, which made me wonder if First Contact had come out like just like around that time, because
Oh, maybe.
Seven of Nine's, when who is it? Is it Harry and B'Elanna are stuck in the turbo lift, and so he's quizzing her, and he's like first warp ship name or something, and she's trying to remember, and then Seven of Nine's like, I got all the answers, and she's like, it was designated the Phoenix, and he's like, oh, I'm surprised you know that, and she says the Borg were actually there. It was a really cool scene. You gotta go back on. I gave props to Voyager. How
She
like,
she often does that. I have multiple memories, not specific ones, but I have multiple memories where she's really awkward. Like people, they're like, she just drops knowledge about something that is completely random, and then people are like, "Oh, how do you know this?" She's like, "We assimilated that species in year whatever." And it's like, "Oh, okay." So she gets real awkward with it because she knows
yeah,
all these things, but it's just because like we eliminated this species and now we have their knowledge.
I like that she's still very Borgy in a way, because when she meets someone, she'll refer like in that same, not that episode, but another episode, she's like telling Tuvok, species, your species, blah 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 blah. Like she knows all your species numbers, and she just like has no problem telling you how like susceptible to being assimilated you
I
are.
I will forever kind of be. I mean, I'm wondering if season 2 of Discovery will maybe address this. Picard. Hey. I wonder if season 2 of Picard will kind of address this, because I understand that 20 years have passed since like they've come back from the Delta Quadrant between Voyager and Picard, but I kind of missed that specific aspect to Seven of Nine. You know what I mean? I don't want the same old Seven of Nine where she's got hair up and she's wearing the cat suits. We don't need the specific Seven of Nine from Voyager, but I would have liked to see at least a bit of her evolution character wise.
You're saying like but like I don't know. I haven't fully finished Voyager, so I can't really comment on stuff like that, as you know. But I am curious now. Like, first of all, Jerry Ryan is spectacular as Seven of Nine. I
Oh
can
yeah,
see why the character is so popular. Like, I'm instantly in
but I feel
love.
like she's better at Seven of Nine in Voyager than she was in Picard. And it's not. I'm not bashing her acting or her performance. I just think that Seven of Nine is such a unique character in Voyager, whereas in Picard it's just more of a generic badass character. know what I mean? There's less
Yeah,
of
you're talking
uniqueness
to
to
the
it.
guy who has to disagree with you. Like she doesn't seem generic at all to me in because I just don't see it as I don't see anything in Star Trek Picard as generic
Oh God,
except for maybe
it could be a season of Agents of Shield.
no.
It's just got a Star Trek skin
We're
on
not
it.
here to. We're not going. We already know where we stand on this. Come on, like, you're never gonna change. Not you said on that same podcast that it's gonna take 25 years for me to
It
like get
will.
over
It
my
will.
hype
We'll talk about this
of
when we're old aging men. All right, and you'll be like,
you
"Fine, I admit it. Listen to
you
it with
can't have a
dumb."
reasonable conversation with Starfleet Boy about Star Trek Picard for 25 years. So we're reminding you.
Nor can you me. I'll be just bashing on it for a while, and you'll be loving it. It'll be fine. We'll talk about
I
something
just
else.
I do think that like what you're desiring on the level of like just comparing Seven of Nine to seeing that character day in and day out as opposed to seeing them now as like a cameo basically, right? Is that I think you'll get that fulfilled because I think we are going to get more Seven of Nine in season two. It feels like
Yeah,
despite your your designation of a generic character of, of of Nine 2.0, I think that we will flesh it out, and I think you'll start to see a return to her home, whatever that is. And I don't
mm.
know that yet because I haven't seen the whole. You know better than I do, so I have to defer to your opinion when it comes to
Yes.
that. I do, I
I would.
do. It's true.
I know that. So you hate the words like you hate timelines and you hate going in that direction, but you have to say them. And I'm the same thing when it comes to the words like soft reboot. I hate that. I'm like it's either a reboot or not. But I will have to admit that it kind of feels like a soft reboot of the Seven of Nine character.
Right.
The same way yeah. Anyway,
Well, Picard, I will say that Picard to me feels like a soft
it
reboot
does. But then,
of
again, there's 20
Star
years.
Trek.
I would like.
That Star Trek, the TNG era Star
Yeah,
Trek.
it
This
does
is
feel
like
like a
kind of
soft
like
reboot of TNG.
of TNG, yeah.
But I understand that things have changed in 20 years, like all of the characters, the kind of setting. But I would like to see maybe season two explore more of that. And I'm not one for like multiple flashbacks, but if they could maybe explore the transition period between both, that would be great. I would like that. Or maybe Star Trek Prodigy could do that. Maybe Star Trek Prodigy could
Right.
show us a time between Lower Decks and Picard and kind of explore
It'd be really great if
the
characters
transition,
the pre Bajazel Seven of Nine
the pre
comes.
Bajazal. I want to
Yeah, I
see that.
feel like
I
Bajazel
want to. I want.
totally screwed up Seven of Nine. I mean, come on, like look at what she did to Icheb. Regardless of whether you agree, from what I haven't met Icheb yet on Voyager.
Yeah,
Apparently, I'm gonna go crazy for Icheb. A lot of people are saying like you're gonna love that character,
yeah.
but
There's
but
controversy about the actor, but just taking the show at face value and the
right.
character, because it's all great performances too.
Right, right. And whoever I can only imagine a scene partner of Jerry Ryan's. It's gonna be she just elevated the show for me. Like Janeway's haircut also elevated the show for me. I like her her
It
her
elevated
shirt.
itself.
Yeah, I do. Really, that also elevated. And then oh my gosh, there's just so much. Like I feel like I really did an injustice to Voyager. But all I'll say is that yeah, I do think that like Star Trek Picard season two has a huge opportunity to flesh out her
I think it
character,
can
and
be more
I would
character driven. I
yeah
would like it to be more character driven. Now that we have assembled the crew of misfits, the kind of band of misfits, and um, I got beeps going on. Anyway, I would like it if kind of Star Trek Picard kind of like utilized those characters and explored their interpersonal relations. Like if we saw more of Elnor, that kind of stuff. I think that would be great.
I
And
do
yeah,
too.
if they do a Seven of Nine spinoff, I would like to see because I feel like Seven of Nine now in the current Star Trek Picard, like where she is now, I feel like she wouldn't have much to say to Janeway. Janeway would be pretty mad at her because I'm assuming Janeway is still an admiral. Um, not
I
one
don't
that's
know.
just
I don't know
thriller.
why Janeway would be mad at Seven of Nine. So
Well,
why would
I don't,
she? Oh, you're gonna tell me? You can spoil it. It's okay.
no,
I
I'm not
should.
going to spoil anything. I
It's
just
20
feel
years. It's
like
25 years after Voyager. I have no excuse for
I
not
just I
having
just feel
seen
like
it.
I just feel like the Fenris
And
Rangers
neither
decision.
neither do you, audience. We're a spoiler heavy show.
I just
If
feel
it's
like
been
the Fenris Rangers decision might not fly too well in Janeway's book.
Oh,
Um,
right. That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Because Janeway's
Yeah.
very kind of like, there's this episode where in Voyager they get trapped inside this spatial anomaly, and there's no way of getting out. And so everyone, it's kind of like the expanse that's going on in Enterprise. So everyone's trapped in this, and all the ships are scavenging and fighting each other. And Janeway doesn't do that. She doesn't fight anyone at all. She creates basically a mini federation, a miniature Starfleet. She's like she starts associating with other races and other species, and she proposes them protection in exchange for parts and what have you. And she creates a little alliance.
I'm starting to see a little tiny bit of that. So I just finished Year of Hell Part 2, and then The Raven, and then one more I saw. Which one did I see? Oh well. Anyways, it's all a blur. I have 2 days off, so I just sent Father an invitation, so maybe he'll pop on since he knows he's time exempt. But I also wanted to answer to. We're gonna give an unsolicited shout out to StreamYards, the service that we're streaming off of. And Fathery, I'm going to answer one of your questions because it was funny and pertinent to what we did in the beginning. How did you get the countdown? Well, I think it just dropped in my settings one day. Like it just popped into my brand section. And so I'm working on a custom Starfleet Boy original countdown that involves flashier special effects and stuff like that. But for now, I think
Ooh, that's fast.
lens flare. It actually, you would probably, if you like. No, it has no lens flares. But it's here. I'll try to show. I don't know. It won't let me upload this video. Anyways, I'm not gonna do it right now. We wanted to talk about Lower Decks, and since we're talking about Fathery, you guys did a really cool top 5 things discussion. Which, by the way, the visual presentation was awesome.
Yeah,
I loved. Yeah, like,
I'm not
really.
going to rewatch or re-listen to my own conversations because I've already lived it. I don't need to experience it again. But I found myself just kind of watching the first few minutes, and then I found myself rewatching it because Valerie did a great job with the visual representations of what we were saying and stuff. It was fun.
I don't know if he'll like this because it took me away from the stream, but like it was so good that like your discussion was so good that I like actually turned on the beginning scene of Star Trek Into Darkness just to watch it, like because I love that opening. It's a really great scene, and then I ended up watching the whole thing.
He just skipped the discussion and went straight into that.
your your discussion led me into darkness, but that being said, that's how cool your discussion was. Is that like it felt like, oh, I need to
And
go
he
off and on
pissed.
these on these adventures.
I really like the opening of Into Darkness. I'm not a fan of that movie, in generally speaking, but I think the opening is great.
In watching it again, I really now I feel like I felt really proud of myself because doing like over 200 of these discussions, many of them with you, has given me, I think, a more critical eye, or at least has really solidified in me what I want from Star Trek. And when I was watching it, I was actually really enjoying it. But the one moment that like I can't get past is when Spock screams Khan. I wish if you could just edit the Khan scream out, I think I could just like watch it and enjoy it like a lot more. But that takes me way out of the movie for some weird reason.
Heavy spoilers, heavy spoilers for the end of Enterprise. But again, that's been, it's been like what, 12 years, 15 years now.
Right.
So come on, that's fine. But I once I was on the Reddit community, and I said, can someone do a supercut of like the Enterprise episode and the TNG episode? You know what I mean?
Oh, like what you mean? What the Pegasus episode? Like
Yes.
to
So
combine the two of those together?
combine the
Whoa,
two of
did
those.
they?
So they did. I got sent a supercut where essentially it's no
Wow.
longer an Enterprise episode. It's a TNG episode where Riker is dealing with the Pegasus, and now and then he goes into the holodeck and you see Archer, and it's real cool. Except they cut out Trip's death. They're like, I can't. I had to
No,
take that
I'm
out.
good.
And I'm like, but that's part of the episode. Like, no, I'm not doing the supercut with the death. I'm taking it out.
I actually appreciate that because, as you know, I would definitely want to see a
I feel
cut.
like Dan Gunther, Kotrats, would appreciate it too. He'd love to see that cut, and he'd love to see it without Trip's death. So, but anyway, I now own that supercut.
we we have a random question, and Continuum Trek is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So
Hey,
let's get to the random question. So Pop Culture Caleb asks, "What are y'all's thoughts on the Space Force? Is it too soon to have military in space, or do you think protecting satellites is a good enough reason to start a new branch?"
oh,
I
not the
didn't.
show then, the actual Space
Yeah,
Force.
Space Force. Yeah, this is a United States centric question, and since you
Yes, it
don't live
is.
here, right?
I'm
But
not like
do you have any thoughts on that?
of all the things, the what most controversial president in U.S. history has ever done. I think Space Force is cool. I don't necessarily agree with the reasons behind it. Like, I don't believe that there is space ISIS to be afraid of. But I think that a space program is good. I know that there's always the debates about, we have many people that are poor or that are, hungry on the planet. Why are we concentrating on going into space? And I think that as like a civilization on Earth, we do need to concentrate on all things. Like, we need to help people that are on Earth, but it is also important to try and look beyond and go beyond the stars. And I think that Space Force is a great first step to that. I don't want it to be a military organization per se, and I don't want them to go start, putting laser cannons on the moon to aim at, you know, the Middle East or whatever. But I like the idea of having a space program, and maybe, once leadership changes, maybe the views and ethics behind the program will change. Maybe it'll motivate other countries and create another space race of some kind. I like the idea of going into space. If it
Yeah.
takes this, even though this is not the ideal way, if it takes this, then that's great. That's what I think. So it's kind of mixed feelings, I guess.
If history, this is where I wish the doctor were here, but maybe someone in the audience knows better. But like, uh, I think the traditionally the Air Force has always had a branch called Space Command, which not always, but for a long time has had
It's
a
Buzz
branch called
Lightyear.
Space. What's that?
It's Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, maybe.
So
Okay,
it's
I could be wrong. You're
Star.
right. That is, but I think Space Command just evolved into Space Force, and so like, yeah, like I don't think we're gonna be doing drills and like and we just don't have right now. All we can afford to do is send satellites into space and like do routine missions to the space station like that.
Yeah.
There's no danger of like a militarized space force at the at the
No, no,
moment,
I like the idea of
and things like
taking it
that. But
in the direction of the expanse. Like, if we could start maybe not necessarily colonizing the belt, but
oh
drilling
yeah,
from the belt, that kind of stuff.
the belt. That's what
Belt,
that the belt, but the belt is further away
Beltalowda
than think about this. The belt is further away than Mars. We got to start getting to Mars. If we do a base on the Mars, from Mars we can
on
get
the
to the
Mars.
belt. On the Mars, we can get to the belt much faster.
Oh yeah,
Sadly, you and I will probably be either very old or dead
how
when
dare you,
human
sir?
when human. Yeah, I know you've got like a good 20 years on me, but it may even be that long
I would like to
before any of
believe
that
that
comes
our
out.
I would like to believe that our will be exponential, and so it'll go faster and faster, and hopefully we'll be able to get somewhere. You know,
We do have a professional opinion in the audience as far as the military goes, and it's all about electronic warfare at the moment. That's very true. You're absolutely correct. Viruses and things, and lasers and stuff like
oh,
that.
come on.
It's true. Lasers are nuts.
It's about global scale EMPs. You gotta just
I
turn off
actually
other countries entirely.
I actually have to admit that as an American, it did fill me with a bit of patriotic kind of like joy that Space Force exists and that at least in imagery, it steals a little bit from Star Trek. So even if it, even if though it's a
It's
military branch, it felt like they were like on the right path just because they were like, oh, look at our logo. It's like, and it's like
because
these,
of the Delta. I feel
which
like
to be fair, I think NASA had a form of the Delta before Star
oh,
Trek did. So whatever it is the Delta's just like a spacey,
it's a space thing.
a space thing. Yeah, it's true.
I would have to talk to many different U.S. citizens from many different maybe backgrounds or political stances, but I feel like Space Force, just generally speaking, is something that everyone can get behind in the USA kind of way, right? Like, let's go to space. You know what I mean?
Federation. Do you think people chant like are? Do you think the Federation is like a very like proud of Do you think there's like games like Parisi Squares games between the Romulans and the Federation, and like the Federation's like Federation, Federation? Do
The
you think there's like
The Vulcans have a baseball team, and anything is possible.
it's true? I want to finally see Parisi Squares. We've never actually seen it like really played, right? It's supposed to be a very dangerous.
We see it
Do we
once,
see
though.
it?
I think so. Yeah, we
I'm
always see
sure
people getting hurt. Like, I've,
Maybe I haven't seen
I've broken
Parisi
my
Squares.
knee, I've
Yes.
disjointed my elbow, whatever it is. Like every time.
Parisi Square's injury factor 100%.
Maybe we'll see that in Lower Decks.
There you
They,
go.
they should have a running joke where everyone plays Parisi Squares, but we never show it. Or like every time like Boimler is gonna go to a game, but then he gets cancelled, so we never see it.
That would be. that would be. We got a comment to your query from another American. I personally believe we should build a coalition of space operations made up of a mix of Space Force personnel, NASA employees, and different private space businesses. Like I think it's gonna. Yeah, I think you're.
Call it
If
Space
it's not already
Peeps.
happening, it's I think Space Peeps. Just call it Starfleet. I feel like Star Trek would have. I feel like the folks at CBS would have been like, "We won't
Too
charge
soon.
you too much to
It's too
license
soon.
that U.S. government." Come on,
It's too soon.
it's too soon. We haven't achieved
2063.
star. We haven't achieved the star in Starfleet yet. We have to go to another star, right? Like that's got to be the mission of Starfleet.
We need to
We
send out things that will then get lost for thousands of years or like hundreds of years into the Delta Quadrant. Things that we think are
like
destroyed,
a pickup truck.
that are not.
A
Like
lot of people want a lot of people want that to be the Tesla. There's a Tesla in orbit, or yeah, or it's like escape. Maybe it's already escaped orbit now. A lot of people want
so,
that to
is
be.
Elon Musk becoming a crazy man, or is he still fine?
I don't have,
I
unfortunately, I
remember.
don't have a pulse on Elon Musk, but
Oh,
the
okay.
last few tweets that he has given have have caused a little concern.
I remember saying in my Discovery Season 1 review, because they named three people. They named three people, four, but they named the Wright brothers, Zefram Cochrane, and then Elon Musk. And I remember
On
saying in my
Discovery, yeah,
review, it's too soon to say Elon Musk. It is too
he
soon.
hasn't
It's
deserved a
kind of
Star Trek
reference.
mention.
Yeah, I believe so. Like he hasn't accomplished that. He was in the infancy of the greatness, and now I feel like he's gone nuts.
Well,
Frankly.
well, if you ever saw the madness of King George, you can recover from madness. So if he is in a state of madness, we can get him back to normal. But I will say
Back.
I will defend I will defend Discovery only in that what he's done for electronic vehicles, I think, is in and of itself a huge accomplishment
Oh yeah,
considering the like opposition he faced. I think you have to be a little bit of a ruthless
I will have
person
to.
to go against the oil industry in the way
Oh
that
yeah,
he has.
I will have to go and look back. Watch the episode again. I think they were specifically referencing like flight and space flight, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, I do have a critique.
it's not
I
an
do have a critique in general. I think I may have expressed this to you privately, but it is. I will say that it is. By the way, crewman father reporting for duty in the space peeps. Is Elon
space.
Musk a space peep? That's the question.
I love your space peep.
It's really great that SpaceX is doing amazing things, and I love the fact that we're launching pretty regularly into space, and I love everything that SpaceX is doing. But I was remarking that like we're kind of going because of cost, I guess we're going backwards in a way because capsules landing and having to be fetched in the ocean. We already got past that with the space shuttle. I mean, it used to just glide gently into the earth and land, and then the astronauts just got out like it's no big deal, and it was all good. And so I just think I know that Elon Musk is developing a reusable shuttle like thing, but I'm like, haven't NASA already done this? Can't you just get the engineering specs from NASA and just go the next, like, why can't we already be building ships in space, for example, or like a space elevator or something like that if we're looking to come on, space elevators are amazing. Speaking of Voyager, that was
I think they're an
there was
obsolete sci-fi concept, aren't they? They
what's
were
that?
a thing that aren't they an obsolete sci-fi concept? Space elevators aren't they a thing that everyone thought would be cool in the 80s, 90s, and then it was kind of
Look,
disproven that this can't work.
no, a
Right.
space elevator's not glamorous. It could take you like 4 or 5 days to get to space, but the idea of it is that it's the most kind of like, yeah, there's a huge cost to build like some kind of gigantic steel structure that, is stable and
They have one in Ad Astra.
right.
Very recent sci-fi, actually.
That's right. And it collapses, and that's an epic scene. I forgot. So yeah, there's a lot of dangers that come with a space elevator.
Falling. Falling.
According to Ad Astra. That's what Ad Astra did.
Ad Astra wasn't a bad movie.
No, I love that movie actually.
Really? It wasn't the best, but it was. It
I
was.
really loved it. I thought it was great. I just felt like it had like such a realistic vibe to it.
Yeah, that's what I appreciated about it. About like how it felt so real. But ultimately, I didn't really get what kind of story it was trying to tell. I think it was just a bunch of events happening in this realistic future world.
Continuum track. This is not true about Sean. I think he does get like 6 hours of sleep,
Is
and
he
I don't
talking
think he.
about me?
I think so. The guy only sleeps for 4 hours daily and lives on a diet of Diet Coke. Don't you drink Diet Coke? Do you drink Diet Coke?
I drink no, I drink Coke, not Diet Coke.
Oh, then this must be Elon Musk. He's
Oh, okay. That is an accurate description of me, by the way. Except it's not Diet Coke. It's just Coke. I don't want no diet.
I
And
thought you got 6 hours of sleep.
I get 5.
Wow. Okay, Dad
I
on the tube, man.
I get 2.5 like for my naps, and then 2.5 before I
This
go.
is you can see why I thought he was talking about you though, because dads
It's
don't.
funny that
Yeah,
you automatically assume that it was me. Uh,
it's got to be Elon Musk, right?
Elon Musk does. If Elon Musk is doing this and I'm doing the same thing, I'm doing something wrong clearly because I'm not a successful businessman. Uh,
Sleep is
I'm not a
very
science
important.
genius.
We've got a Tesla becomes self-aware and becomes T-LA, like how the Voyager probe became V'ger. Ah,
I would
Tila.
be legitimately terrified if the Tesla came back sentient. Tila,
So
Tila.
this could be a Star Trek. So like, if the Star Trek Kelvin timeline wants to redo Star Trek the Motion Picture, this is how they could do it. The the Tila. We're looking for the creator. It won't call off the attack unless they go back in time and bring Elon Musk to the future to confront his
You know what I
creation.
want the Kelvin. I want the not only do I want the Kelvin timeline to continue, but I want it to continue in like 20 years when all of the cast are old, so we can get like an old Kelvin timeline.
No, no, let's take advantage of. The other thing I
I
thought when I
want
was,
Kelvin timeline TNG
I
movie.
want them like now. I think
I
there's a
want the
market for it.
Enterprise D Kelvin
Oh
timeline.
my gosh,
Don't you think?
James. Um, who am I thinking of? The actor who plays Professor X in X-Men First Class, McAvoy. James McAvoy could play Picard in the Kelvin universe. I would totally eat it
So at
up.
this point, James McAvoy doesn't just play character; he just plays Sir Patrick Stewart in anything that he was.
And anything, yeah, it's true.
He's just the,
um, Fathery likes Ad Astra. Yay.
How much did I give it in my impeccable, perfect rating system?
Oh, we'll have to find out. But in the meantime, Pop Culture Caleb says, I think it's too expensive, referring to a reusable a reusable shuttle costs too much to launch, having to use a different propulsion rocket each time when you could just use a reusable rocket that can land back on the pad. But if it could reach escape velocity without just by flying, like if it just took off, reach escape velocity, which you could do if you had like
You want a space plane?
yeah. I mean,
You
Virgin
want-
Galactic was on the verge of doing like everyone's like hype about SpaceX, but that was Virgin Galactic's thing. And if I'm not mistaken, they did like they were able to reach escape velocity. I think there's been experimental jets that have reached escape velocity as well. Like I think it can be done. It's just not it's a very time consuming thing, I think, in terms of resources available in the jet or whatever, but I think it can be done. And Caleb thinks that Elon Musk could do it, and I think so. I'm sure he'd love a cameo.
I mean,
Oh,
he's
on
been in Rick and Morty now.
he
He's
would love a cameo. I think Elon Musk's dream, one of his dreams, would come true if he was on Star Trek. I think Jeff Bezos uh, already made his Star Trek dream come true, and so now it's Elon Musk's turn.
He's also made his Star Trek dream come true. What, by like
Yeah,
renewing his plans?
Amazon launched Picard, and if I'm not mistaken, like uh, Sir Patrick Stewart himself came to the Amazon headquarters and like spent a day with Jeff Bezos.
He's a bit controversial at
Bezos.
the moment, isn't he?
They're all the billionaires are controversial
Fair
because
enough.
they're obscenely wealthy. They have no idea what
Comes
true
with the wealth,
reality.
I suppose.
Well, yeah, but they have no idea.
I
I
don't know how much
genuinely
like sugar costs.
they don't know.
I don't know, $25.
Like, in fact, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and well, I don't think he'll go for this, but Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, you owe me $5 million for each time I mentioned your name on this show.
Oh
That's
wow,
it. Done. Oh
that's
yeah, it's chump
$1 million.
change. I drop $5 million from my pocket every day
You
when
send
I'm
them to
pulling
space,
it.
they don't care.
What's that?
They send them to space, they don't care.
They're both doing things in space, which is pretty cool. So there is a little. So it's not a totally one madman doing it. It's
I think
perhaps.
that I prefer people investing in space exploration than in the development of artificial intelligence. That scares me. I think we should stay away from artificial intelligence. You know, we don't need bloody robots that are sentient and shit. I think we should focus on, you know, traveling to other worlds, that kind of stuff. I don't want
I
no
I just think
you know
I
intelligent.
think we 100% want artificial intelligence. I just don't think we need to have artificial emotions and artificial feelings
You
and
want those three
artificial.
laws of robotics, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I mean, like, I think it could work if you follow the three laws of robotics, and also, we are gonna need at some point. You're gonna need like a co-pilot that can make adjustments faster than a human can. It's just it's just
Yeah,
gonna be necessary at some
I
point.
guess. I guess the
You know,
dream is that none of us humans have to work anymore, and we can all live the rich and privileged life, and
that's Dune.
we have
That's
all of
what.
these
Yeah, it's true.
robotic, not sentient, kind of not emotional beings doing our jobs for us. That is the dream, I suppose. Uh,
Well, but how do I
Except that
don't
few of us have to go and dig up the spice. Um,
Well, yeah, I don't think humans would be happy doing that. By the way, you really should see Battlestar Galactica. Now you've totally
beef is with Battlestar Galactica. Now everyone's going to tell me I'm wrong in the comment section, what have you. Here's my beef with Battlestar Galactica. All right, every time I see a poster, it's got a bunch of dudes with military uniforms and what is supposed to be like a hot babe with a red dress in the middle, and I
yeah.
feel like, and it pisses me off because I feel like that it. You know how people complain about how Seven of Nine, or they brought in the hot babe for the nerds. That's how it feels with this Battlestar Galactica poster. Every time it's like, but
By the way, her name is
are they,
Six, which
are
is
they just
interesting.
are they just trying to appeal to like the nerdy kind of I want to see a lady kind of, I don't know, it doesn't
I th- I
feel
th- I think I think
genuine.
in high, I think just I can really just say that like I think that like most times that visual trope would lead to that conclusion, but with
Mm,
Battlestar Galactica, you can't really
okay.
say.
So
I would say that
the
that.
marketing is off in comparison to like the.
But after you've seen it, you'll look at the marketing and you'll be like, no, it's not off.
Okay.
It's meant to be this way. It
You
was.
understand how I feel? It's
I
kind
do.
of
I get it.
it's you get a kind of disgusted sentiment where you're like, are they just trying to play the woman for the nerds? You know what I mean? Like, and that's how it kind of
I
feels.
think to a degree that's always happening, right? Like I don't mind, like I have to admit as a viewer, I don't mind when, for example, in that same year Voyager episode, they had the really hot second in command alien guy, and I was like, hey, yeah, that's awesome. He should be on the cover of that episode's poster, not. I don't know. Anyways, we got a ton.
That's not my.
What's that?
I got no problem with hot people, hot sexy looking people. That's not my problem. I'm just saying the
No,
cover
I
of
know what you're saying. It's exploitive. It's exploitative.
it feels a bit, every time I see
It's
Battlestar
cringy. It is a bit cringy. But perhaps we're I just really think you should watch Battlestar Galactica is all
I
I
feel
gotta
like
say.
I should be diving into Red Dwarf before Battlestar Galactica.
No,
Nah,
maybe. No,
nah.
maybe. Stop confusing me. Oh, we got some here we go. Let's see. If we did get another Kelvin movie, I'd rather see Sulu's adventures on the Excelsior. I'm down for that. If we can't get everyone back, if Chris Pine can't be brought back, for example, or Zachary Quinto, I
I
think it'd be
still can't
cool
believe
to get
they
a.
haven't done this. I'm still baffled that they haven't done a Sulu movie yet. John
Right.
Cho is a successful. Uh, I've talked about this in one of my live streams. Like everything is like Star Trek fans love Sulu. They've always wanted a Sulu movie, right? John Cho is just generally speaking a hype person, and it checks all of the diversity boxes that the big production companies want. Because you'd have like an Asian homosexual lead uh, in a movie, and that checks all the like the diversity boxes that people want. It's like there's no downside to having
Well,
a
well,
Sulu.
there's always going to be something, right? Because I don't think John Cho actually is homosexual. So unless he comes out as bisexual or pansexual or something like that, someone's going to say, "Oh, we should cast a
That's
truly."
maybe just my opinion, but I think at the end of the day, you're acting. You know what I
I'm
mean?
I'm
It's
playing devil's advocate here. I'm not
oh
saying
no,
that
no,
that's
absolutely.
no.
Absolutely. Well, there's
Yeah.
always someone that will complain. Like people will complain that
I think that when you make
because
a
it's not
movie
female.
like
But
when you make a movie, especially Star Trek, you do have to check some of those boxes off because Star Trek, by its definition, is a showcase of a future in which
it
there
created
is,
the checklist.
what's that?
It created the checklist.
It created, yeah, and some could argue that it did create the checklist. So yeah, I do think that yeah, a Star Trek show should definitely adhere to some of those things. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were like just saying like how great it would be to have
I think that it
a
would.
Sulu show.
Of course, there are going to be some people that might complain about the fact that yeah, John Cho is not the homosexual in real life, and that it would be better to have a homosexual actor play the role of a homosexual. But like, I think that's a small amount of people. If you were to really just the character in the Kelvin timeline is gay, that's enough. For me at least,
Yeah,
just go for it. I think
we
that it would check all of the boxes. Everyone would
yeah,
love it, especially considering John Cho is such a great actor. So many
he's
people have been happy
fantastic.
with the Asian American representation that they've been having as of lately. Like I think it was like last year with Crazy Rich Asians, and there's so many other great movies. Anyway,
I
I think
agree.
that it's a
I
missed
mean, and Shah
opportunity.
Rukh Khan, I don't know if you saw this, but Shah Rukh Khan was on David Letterman's Netflix show, and it was like an insane episode. It was really cool. Do you
And
know Shah? Do you ever watch? I've been meaning to ask you. Do you watch Bollywood films, Sean?
not really.
Uh,
No, but Wife on the Tube knows about them, so I by default I know about a
I
few.
think there should be a Bollywood Star Trek. I don't know if that exists, but I think there should be like
I
a
think he's called Henry Golding. I think that's his name. The
who.
very, very handsome Asian, but he's English, I think. The very, very handsome one that's in The Gentleman and that's in Crazy Rich Asians. Is that it?
Oh, got it. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. You're out of my depth here because
Are you
of
kidding
it's
me?
not.
You gotta find this guy.
I gotta look
His
for.
face.
While you look for that, I'm gonna go on to the next comments because
Oh,
we got a
I'm
couple backups
I'm
and
looking at him now.
welcome. You want to share your screen? You want to show the audience before we
Alright,
go to the next comment?
that-
Yeah, you can just go to share screen.
Where's that?
Uh,
Oh,
I just hope that we get enough Kelvin timeline movies to
there he
get the
is.
Kelvin version
Look at that.
of the Next Generation.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, he's very handsome,
He
handsome
is.
man.
He is. That's enough. Come on, stop. Getting off
You
track.
don't want to.
I want to see more
So,
movies of him because he's great. He's a great actor.
the production value in the Kelvin movies is insane. One of the things that I
Oh, except when
was
they have to film in a beer um plant.
okay. Sorry, the special effects, the visual effects, the digital space battles and special effects are unlike anything I've ever seen before. So, like, I feel like they really do something super different from Star Wars that somehow remains very Star Trek. Now, I do have little, little nitpicks. Like, I think this ship should be slower and like, not so many not so many like fisheye lens angles and things like that. But
The Kelvin timeline, it has its own vibe to it, right?
but I mean, okay, so like the whatchamacallit, what's the name of the death ship that Admiral Marcus creates?
Oh, the dreadnought? No,
The death ship. We'll just call it
Vengeance.
the intensity. What?
The Vengeance. The USS
The
Vengeance.
vengeance. Oh yeah. See, like that's the thing. Like, so the vengeance
Most stupid
itself.
ship ever designed.
But aside from that, it actually tears a gash like near the spot that the same gash that the Reliant created was on the Enterprise, and I saw it, like, even though it wasn't as like, again, I think the Star Trek 2 space battle is the best Star Trek space battle
Oh,
ever.
really?
Yeah, like, I don't think we've topped it.
Okay. I
We
think
haven't come
Space
close.
Nine had more interesting battles, but
No, like movie space, but like, we're just gonna
oh,
like narrow it down. Yeah, from all the films, I think the Star Trek 2, both the encounter sequence as well as the Mutara Nebula sequence are among the most exciting. And I don't just mean like space effect, effects or anything, just
I
like the
I like
tension and excitement. Like, which one do you like the best?
I like the Nemesis fight. I think
So
people
that's the second one.
I
That's
think
the
the Enterprise E with the scimitar when Picard
no,
did
yeah, it's
just ram it. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna ram it. And every time I'm on the edge of my seat and I'm like, is he gonna give the order? And he does.
I think Star Trek 6 is a masterpiece, but the space battle was disappointing. I think that the
Oh no,
yeah,
Star Trek is not a masterpiece.
it is a masterpiece. And then,
Don't be a
wow,
masterpiece and have a disappointing element to it. Can it?
we'll have to discuss that on the Star Trek 6 discussion. But anyway, wait, we got more comments. We got to catch up. We got to say hi to Ruben, who's in the house too. James McAvoy needs a few more years to marinate before we. James, could you take a few more tea baths, please? Earl Grey, hot. Marinate in Earl Grey tea.
Marinate
Uh,
as what? As an age?
yeah, I think that's what Caleb
Or
means.
as in get better as an actor? Because I think James McAvoy's he's really getting there now.
He's really strong
really good.
as a
I'm
performer.
convinced. Yeah, by his acting.
Very nice. Shout out to James McAvoy. James, you only owe us $10 for our mentions of you.
You owe us nothing. You owe us just come by. Just come by.
It's true. If they get a fourth movie off the ground, they could convince the actors to do an yes, 100% stand for that. I just use Stan. That's the first time I ever used Stan on Star.
I want
No,
a Pixar. I want a
yes,
Star Trek movie, right?
Pixar Star Trek.
And
Make
I
it a
don't want
thing.
Disney to be involved at all. I just want Pixar to talk.
You're like,
Yes.
we want Pixar to like go away, like banned from Pixar.
They can produce the movies still through Disney and what have you, but I don't want Disney to kind of meddle with the plot or anything. I just want Pixar to say, hey, CBS, can we use a bunch of characters or your IP and make a movie? And they're like, yes. And then Pixar do the movie that they want on an alien planet or on a ship or whatever. And I want an animated, I think it would be.
I will say something. I'm a big Disney
Visually,
fan.
spectacular.
I'm a huge Disney fan, but I will say something that disturbed me was that they covered Madison's butt in Splash, and it's digitally it's
It's digitally crap.
right.
It's
But I
very
was just
terribly
like,
done.
there was no need for this. Like that scene is the least offensive thing. I think that like I fear
It's
that
an
that
ass, sir.
scene. So it's
No, I
just a
don't care.
butt. It's a
It's just a
butt.
but. There's nothing sexual about that scene. There's nothing. There's not even anything
Yeah.
sensual or evocative. It's just her running away, and there's a bottom. We see. There's a bottom. We see Bart's bottom all the time.
Who's bottom?
Bart in The Simpsons.
Oh yes, we see Bart, but that might get censored out too. And Apu, I just found is gone from The Simpsons, which we
Oh,
won't talk about that. We're
let's not
not
go
going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about. We're not going to go there. This is the hype episode. So, but we will at some
hype.
point in the future. I
We're gonna
think
be
we should
hyped
have
up.
a discussion about revision. What deserves revisions and what doesn't. We can certainly talk
That's
about
very
Apu there.
interesting because I'm the white male, right? And so
It
when I
appears that way.
it
It does
appears that
appear. It does appear that way.
visually speaking.
Visually speaking, it
So
would.
when I have my opinions about Apu and that kind of stuff, maybe I'm mistaken or maybe my perspective is flawed, right? But you're not. You are of the Apu. So so it's interesting to get
Wow,
your opinion on that.
I kind of like that. I am of the Apu. Thank you, Sean. I have to look into this issue more before I can comment about it. But yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
agree with what you're saying. Ruben is in the house, possibly still in the house. We welcome you to our show. Men are generally more visually stimulated, and women are more interested interested to look at it from an artistic point of view. They have a lot of lines and curves. Men are generally boxier.
Well, I think Starfleet Boy would argue that many men have many interesting lines and curves.
This is true. There's the V, but it is kind of like a straight line almost, but it's true. But
Hmm.
there are cakes are round. You get some, you talk about the cakes. There's a lot of roundness in the cakes. So yeah, that's an interesting comment. I think this is a view that has this is goes back to this idea of like the men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing. I posit that we've been conditioned to be that way. That there's no, and Star Trek proves it, such as on that episode, Angel One, that you can be. We are conditioned to feel this way. I don't think that those differences actually exist. There are definitely hormonal and chemical differences between males and females, but I don't think they necessarily influence those things. Although, maybe I just hang around a lot of women that like visuals. I don't know. The Vengeance confirmed. I
Confirmed.
came in really late. What are you hyping? Lower Decks, everything.
All of
But
it.
mainly we're hyping Sean's music video that dropped yesterday.
Oh,
Take
that's
My
right.
Worf. I'm gonna take my Worf to the hollow deck. We're gonna fight
I
crime till
cried
we
till we
can't
can't
no
no
more.
more. I like
it's
doing
so
musical characters. I find it
it's so
fun.
good. You
It
also
came in
did
really
one for
late.
Geordie,
I
which
also
got
did one
LeVar
for
Burton's attention.
all of our buttons hit a little, yay, it's cool kind of
Yeah, he
tweet.
gave a little sign off.
So he must have seen
I
it.
don't
He must have
I
spent 50
don't
seconds watching.
normally I try not to tweet at people, but I quote at Michael Dorn and Brian Bonsall because I think
I
they
saw
should see
that.
it.
And
So I have to.
I also tweet at like Michael Lawn and Marina Sirtis because she's in there, and I tweet at the original artist, the Lil Nas X, and his
Which
acolyte
I
Billy
didn't
Ray.
know about. I thought your song. I learned about Little Nas X through your song,
I'm blown away by that.
and you told me
I'm
that it's the most popular song on the Billboard charts. So that was cool.
well, not anymore. I think it's that's gone now.
Little
But
Nas X, you owe Sean $20 for
oh, I'm
him
so
introduce.
not.
It's a referral fee for him introducing me to your to your music.
I think he got famous on one of the. He got famous on one of the youth apps, the TikToks. The,
Starfleet Boy's getting famous on TikTok. We might actually be more famous on TikTok at some point than we are everywhere else.
I don't even know how to use that. I don't know what it
You
is.
gotta
Every time
at
someone
least
describes it to
claim.
me, I'm like, that's
You gotta
that's.
do it today because you gotta at least claim Trek on the Tube before one of Doomcock's trolls does it, and
I
then
won't do that. I'm not going to do that. Every time someone
you just
describes it to me, I'm like, that's Vine. And every time someone describes Snapchat, I'm like, but that's Vine. And every time someone describes Instagram, I'm like, but that's Vine. Anyway,
You're right. But Vine doesn't exist anymore, does it?
no, Twitter just shut it down. They're like, nah,
Yeah,
we don't
it's
need it
gone.
anymore.
But we are hyped for your music video. We are also hyped for Lower Decks. To answer your question,
You're hyped for Discovery season 3, I think.
and I'm very hyped for Discovery season 3.
I like
So there's some,
Burnham's hair.
and we're kind of hype about the space program, but not too much. We think it could be better. Like season 2 of the space program needs to be better than season
Yeah, okay,
1.
fair enough. I haven't seen Space Force yet, the show, but I'm very hype about Final Space, the animated show season 3. I'm looking forward to that.
He's not Canadian.
Yeah, I live in Canada,
He's
but I'm not
actually
Canadian.
French Zealand,
Yes, I'm
New
French Kiwi.
Frenchland,
New
French
French.
Kiwi. Oh, that's
I'm French Kiwi.
New Frenchland, New
I
Franceland.
am I am of the rooster and of the kiwi. I am of the kiwi and the cock.
That's like Call Me by Your Name in New Zealand. Instead of a peach, it's with a kiwi. Do you even know what I'm referring to?
No,
Oh wow! When you discover what I'm referring to, you're
call
gonna.
me by your name. That's a
It's a
movie?
Timothy Chalamet movie, which, by the way, I'm super excited about. We were talking about Dune earlier. I'm super excited about Timothy Chalamet and Oscar Isaacs
I
in
haven't.
Oscar. Yeah.
Call me by your name. I haven't seen it yet. That's an independent film.
Ca- Call Me by Your
Mhm.
Star Trek Name is the version with you and me as the main actors, and
Oh,
it's gonna be you and a kiwi cock
I
instead of
see.
a peach cock.
I need to see this Call Me by Your Name film, by the way.
Yeah, and then you'll know. We'll call it "Call Me by Your Trek Name."
Is
Our
it a love
version.
story?
Yes, it's a love story. That's officially that's our love story name now. Our bromance name. Call Me by Your Trek.
Call Me by Your Track.
I'm Army Hammer, and you get to be Timothy Chalamet. I'll be played by Army
I
Hammer.
guess it's better than Starfleet Tube.
Call Me by Your Trek. We should actually just call these segments whenever we're on live doing hype shows. They should be just called "Call Me by Your Trek." And that's the next
No one's
generation
gonna
of.
understand the reference.
No one will, but we got a LOL out of it, so that was good. Um,
Well, we don't know what that relates to. The LOL.
you just became cooler because you're not Canadian to the Martian.
Oh dear God.
Sorry.
I don't know how other Canadians feel about that.
Yeah, and by the way, I have a lot of family in Canada, Martian. And I actually would love to live in Canada. I would love to be
Well,
in
BJ
Toronto.
might be mad
My
now.
dream is to live in Toronto during filming season. And I'd be just like trying to
I have a
give the
Word
coffees.
document. I have a Word document in which I have listed all of the places that you can visit that they have filmed Discovery in. And
Like
one
when I come to
day
Canada, we should
we will
do
do
that.
that. We will
Oh,
do
that's
that. That
awesome.
is what we will do. When you come to Canada, that's our plan. We'll go to Toronto and we'll go around because it's all around the Toronto region. It's not necessarily just in the city, but there's so many things to visit. Anyway, like the Vulcan Science
Okay.
Institute is like it's like
Oh,
a
we could go to the Vulcan Science Institute, like
yeah,
from what?
But
Ah.
it's actually a museum that we can spend some time visiting. It's like a museum for like Islamic art or something.
Oh wow.
So yeah, there's plenty of cool stuff. There's a quarry. I'm sure that we're not allowed to visit the quarry, but we can just go in there and get arrested. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Now it's premeditated because we talked about it on live stream. Thanks. um, Father says that he wants to live in Vancouver. Vancouver's an amazing city. I would love to live in Vancouver, but I choose Toronto to be close to the Star Trek production unless they move to Vancouver, in which case I will
I don't
choose
think did they film
Vancouver.
things in Vancouver?
What's that?
Did they film things in Vancouver?
Yeah. And
Okay.
also in Montreal. In fact, the Highlander series was filmed entirely in Montreal.
Every time a movie production wants to do a European city,
They come to
but they're too
Montreal.
cheap to go to Europe, um, they go somewhere in Quebec. So it's like Montreal or Quebec City, that kind of stuff.
Well, right now I can't come to Canada even if I wanted to because they won't even take packages from Florida. So I doubt they'll take humans from Florida.
God damn it. So do you have to send this package via a special cleaning service now? Is that what you
No,
were
so I
saying?
figured it out. So ultimately, what it is I think the level of postage that I paid for doesn't guarantee it's it doesn't get that stamp inspected by or cleaned by or certified by or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm gonna resend it. Thanks for telling me, postal employee worker, when I
God damn it,
came to.
Bob.
No, we can't be criticizing the postal employees because the post office is in jeopardy, and I definitely want it to survive. I love the post
Well, maybe
office.
it's because they don't clean the packages. No,
Wow. But apparently FedEx will also do a packing service where you can be certified to
so this is
not.
a special thing that you pay for, and then hopefully I'll get my Lower Decks merch
Yes,
and
which you can see.
my best mug.
Here, I'll just show it since we're talking about them.
Okay, here we go.
Whatever. The audience can witness your disappointment again.
Oh no, I love
so
it so
I
much.
so Sean is the number one on this show. You're the first officer, so I thought number one, dad. You're the
I'm
number
dead
one dad. Oh, so there you go.
because I'm your daddy, right?
Yes, that too. You're all our
I'm,
daddies. You're daddy on the two.
I'm 20 years younger than you, but
Sorry, but you're not the daddy. It's actually Cannon Cop who's the daddy.
it would seem so.
And
He's kind
then
of in charge around here.
and now we have we have Mirror Mirror Trek on
Mirror
the
should come to. He's the troubled child. He won't listen. He just does his own
he's
thing.
I think he needs a show. I think you need to open a channel for him. Maybe that could be your TikTok is Mirror Trek on the two. So Lower Decks is 2 days away.
Oh my god, I just can't wait.
We're
Do you
gonna
want to
do
talk about? You want
another.
to talk about the schedule?
Yeah, the schedule. The schedule. Let's talk about the schedule. So of course, Sean being a dad on the tube, he has limited availability. So for now, during the airing, how many weeks is Lower Decks?
10.
10 weeks. So for the oh wow, for the next 10 weeks, uh, hopefully, barring any baby necessary things, Sean and I will come together at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that what we agreed on?
Yeah, 6 to
On
7.
Thursdays, 6 to 7 on Thursdays, and give our first impressions of Lower Decks on drop day because that's the day it drops is
Yeah,
Thursdays.
so
So we'll
we'll have time during the day to watch it multiple times. I'm guessing.
yeah. Is it
Um,
and it's a half-hour show or a 1 hour show?
yeah,
Do
it's
you
a half
know?
hour. So it's a
Oh,
half
okay,
hour.
so
So
it's
it's
super
kind of like
easy.
traditional sitcom, like 23-minute kind of
You
sitcom
could do
thing.
it on your lunch break. It'll be awesome.
Oh yeah,
Well, I could. It'll be your nap time.
I'm gonna be at work from like midnight till whatever 10 it is,
Yeah.
and then I come home, have a nap, and then I'll watch it after my nap.
And of
That's how it's
course,
gonna.
you never know who else will be on, but for now, that's going to be our next 10-week schedule, which means that, because of that, Sean may or may not be able to come to the TOS discussions. And as disheartening as that is, it is kind of cool that 10 weeks later you'll pop in and be like, all right,
I'm back. The show
I'm
must
back.
go on. I'll tell you, I might like depending on because I'm gonna try and keep Saturdays for like family time going out because it's summer
Of
with
course.
baby. But of course, if it's a really crap day or something happening, if we get another heat wave, when it's bloody
Oh, wow.
too hot and you can't go outside, then I'll pop in and do the discussion
That would be
for the
awesome.
original
Well,
series.
either way, we're excited. Lower Decks, I feel like, is the show that you've been most excited about. You made some pretty heavy statements about Lower Decks, like being that kind of bridger, and I think the thing that bridges uh, Star Trek, classic Trek, and modern Trek, or whatever. I don't know how. Like, no one really seems to be able to agree on it, including ourselves. A designation, for Star Trek in the current day, but I would love that. I think it's I do
Contemporary trick.
contemporary. that, that's so much. That's so fancy. I love it. Uh, audience, go check out. We wanted to say once again to check out Text Trek and Trek on the Tube talking about their top five things that they want to see in Star Trek Lower Decks. If I may, I don't really have a top five things that I want to see,
Well, then you can't do
but
it.
Wow.
It's either a top five or nothing. Come on.
The biggest thing I would like to see is just cartoonified versions of the characters that, like many
Oh
more
yeah.
characters from TNG. That's like my biggest
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Like I think there's a great opportunity to get even actors like Denise Crosby to come back and play
I feel
characters like
like Riker's going
Sela.
to be there. I feel like absolutely we're going to have Riker and Troy, and we're going to see them like the
Jonathan
cartoon
Frakes and
versions of
Marina
Riker and
Sirtis.
Troy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Riker and Troy in the show. Yeah, and we might even, it'd be sad, but it'd be cool if we met Thad at some point. You could meet him through the animated
Oh,
universe.
he would just be like an animated baby because he didn't live
Or
too long, from what I
no,
understand.
he lived till he was 10, if I'm not mistaken. He died when he
Oh,
was
really?
10. Yeah,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, he was like 10 years old, so he lived his whole life on a starship. So if you get a Titan cameo and like
Hmm.
a character goes on the Titan and you could meet Thad. Ooh, you like that. You like that
Yeah,
idea.
I like that. I don't think that because when they were writing, because they wrote Lower Decks. From what I understand in the timeline, they wrote in the timeline of real life events. They wrote Lower Decks season one before Picard was being written, right? Because they started animation production on Lower Decks while they were writing Picard, which means
Right.
I don't think that there will be any links between Picard and Lower Decks as of now. We'll have to wait till like future seasons and that kind of stuff.
Oh, right on. But still,
Um,
like, and how
but I
many?
feel like, yeah, we can have so many. I would love to see. This is not next generation, but this is the kind of thing that I want. I have always wanted to see someone go back to the damn planet from the original series where the Horta
Yes.
are now working in unison with the miners.
Yeah.
You show like the Horta are digging the tunnels, and the miners are using the tunnels, and the miners they've set up a lab to protect and help the eggs, and it's become like a symbiosis, or like a helpful community in it. And I've always wanted to see, even if it's just an opening sequence to an episode, like the opening sequence of Into Darkness or Beyond, just like seeing an opening sequence, and then the episode is unrelated. But I would love to see
Yeah.
and explore those kind of, and having a ship be the second contact ship. It feels like you can do that kind of stuff, right?
Right. Right. I agree. 100%. We got Robbie in the house. Welcome, welcome, Robbie. Marina Sirtis really sold Thad's death. She was great as well as Jonathan Frakes on Nepenthe or in
Well, that was my
Nepenthe.
favorite episode
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
season.
she was. They were fantastic. And
Didn't get a
yeah,
10, but
I think we talked about this, but the character came to life through their performance, which was pretty cool. Did you give
oh
that
yeah,
episode a 9 or a 10? You gave it
it
a
was like
10?
I think I gave it an 8.5.
I think I overrode it to a 10 is what happened. I was like, nah. Nah.
Well, it's because I said that maybe Marina Sirtis' episode would get a 10.
Yeah.
Um,
I can't believe that just goes to show you how committed
Vulcans.
Trek on the Tube is to his truth, that he will not even though I bought a cameo from Marina Sirtis, basically bullying him into giving a 10, he wouldn't do it.
No, I do mean the Horta. I mean the Horta, like
Oh, we're gonna.
the silicon based. Because Continuum is talking about the Hulkans. I'm talking about the Horta, like the silicon based rock lava kind of life forms that lay eggs in the caverns of whatever planet it was.
I think I
Um,
have a picture of it. Hold on. Let's see if I can get this up on screen. The one that Spock mind melds with and communicates with. It's an iconic episode.
isn't that what the pain? Isn't that in that episode?
Pain, suffering.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to see,
You
but
want pain
that's
and he
kind of
wants
I
pain
want
and
pain and
suffering.
suffering for Spock.
For
No,
oh jeez.
no, I want to see those kind of places explored. So maybe in TNG, um,
Do you see that?
look at that thing. Look how sexy that looks. That alien thing.
The
Look how
Horta.
much pain it's in.
Look at its eggs back there too. They're
Can you
very
see
cool.
the despair? Um, anyway, I would like to revisit these kind of planets, and I'm sure there's plenty in TNG that we can revisit.
And I
Go
think
back
I
to
think
it.
Continuum Trek quote about it, so it's safe to announce that you and I are going to be on his show, on his game show.
Oh,
Do you
So
want
I've
to say
just
something? Do you
I've
want to
been
do a quick blurb, Conti? Do you want to do a quick blurb and we can put it up on the comments? Let the audience know what's going on. That just reminded
I
me.
now have to announce to wife on the tube that I am officially occupied uh, on that date because I hadn't told her yet.
She's probably watching this right now, and
Oh
like,
no! Ah!
she just threw something at the TV. Great, thanks.
How dare you?
How dare you?
She's at work. She shouldn't be watching.
All right, so we're going on an hour and 10 minutes. Do we have anything else that we want to talk about, Sean? Like, is there anything pressing on your mind? Well, let's see. We covered Star Trek, Picard a lot, as we always do. We covered Lower Decks. We talked about Space Force. We talked about Star Trek Discovery a little bit. Prodigy we did touch on, but we don't really know much about Star Trek Prodigy, right?
We know the synopsis.
What is it? A group of kids discover a derelict starship? Is it
Yeah,
like a
a group of
Federation starship?
teenagers. A group of teenagers discover a derelict Starfleet ship,
Right.
and then they use it to kind of, to I suppose, their advantage. They grow. The characters must grow, and their adventure probably goes with it. And so they're probably a group of very intelligent, young, young people. It sounds interesting.
It
That's
does.
CG animation, and it's done by the brothers. So I thought it was the Hageman, but it's the Hageman apparently brothers. So they're the ones behind the Lego Ninjago series. Well, I haven't seen it, but when I talked about Lego Ninjago to people at work that have children that are around the ages of 7 and 8, apparently all of their children watch the Lego Ninjago series and they all love it.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, if
I
they're doing a show for like kids, then they've got the right people to do it.
I feel like I'm so old that it's been such a long time since I've watched like kids programming, but I do have like godchildren and young nieces and nephew type people in my life that the things that they watch are pretty far out. I feel like a friend of mine calls it ADHD fuel, so I don't know. But I do think it'll be good for Nickelodeon to have its first Star Trek series, I think, as far as I know. This is like a first for Nickelodeon, and that's opening Star Trek up to a potentially huge new market. And I just like
I
feel
don't
really
know where they're going to release this internationally, and the beef still stands with Lower Decks. They want an international release. We don't know where and when it's coming out.
isn't Canada international?
No, we count as North America.
Oh.
We get it on. We
So
get it
there's
on.
no dates. There's no dates like in the rest of the world. It's just Canada and the USA.
Yeah, that's kind of suck. That kind of sucks, eh? I'm gonna be doing reviews, and half the bloody audience can't actually see the episode.
Oh, that's terrible.
I feel bad for them.
I feel like something's gonna happen as soon as episode one is released and people see like that it's great. Something will happen really quickly.
Maybe it'll come out. It'll be a disaster. We'll be disappointed. Like, oh.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen. I can't imagine that's happening. But if it is, we'll be here live on
Live.
Thursday at 6 p.m. to show you however we feel.
We're gonna love it. I feel like we're gonna love it.
I feel like we are too. Everything I've seen so far indicates that
We
I'm
might
gonna
be
love it.
we might be somewhat confused by the first episode, as is tradition with Star Trek first episodes, except Picard. Maybe I think Picard. We were just everyone, even Ruben was impressed by the first episode.
We have it documenting.
He
Oh
then
look,
he then changed his opinion.
he did. Hi guys, can't stay long. Must return defective TV. Oh, you bought a whole TV just for Lower Decks and it was busted? That's
That sucks.
crazy. All
That's
right.
that's worse than my merch story.
Yay, Robbie says that
I was supposed to do a discussion with PJ today, by the way, as well.
Robbie says that I'll watch the reviews even if I can't. Wow, you're all over it today. Holy moly. I'll watch the reviews even if I can't watch the episodes. I'm gonna
Thank you.
try I'm gonna try to
Very
arrange Yes, I agree. Thank you for
It is very kind.
it is very kind.
Sometimes I get people commenting like they wait for my reviews in order to watch like the episode and then the review straight up after, which is it's so heartwarming. It's like you guys.
It is pretty
amazing.
cool. I will say that there's probably going to be ways to watch the show. Just
Yeah. Hi, Braxton. You took off his
hello,
comment.
Braxton. Oh, sorry. Hi, Braxton. It's hard. I don't have my technician here today. I don't have database boy, so I'm running the show all by myself. So I get
Do you
really
actually
easily
have
distracted.
Database Boy?
A
Do you
friend
actually
of
have
mine.
someone
So
working behind the scenes?
so database boy, and sometimes you'll hear me say database girl or person. Is
Database
a
One.
database one is Gary. There's only one database
Oh,
one. That's Gary. But database boy, girl, person is a group of people that sometimes want to learn how to do all the show, so they hop on and help me in some way. So that
oh.
sometimes they run a Twitter for me. Sometimes they'll run this thing, and so it's a group of people,
You have an apprenticeship program.
interns. I don't know. That sounds bad. Yeah, I like apprenticeship better. Although I don't know that I'm a master at any of this, so I don't think I deserve to have apprentices. But I do have assistants. How about that? Like I have
Fair enough.
help. Starfleet Boy has help. Starfleet Boy
The,
can't do
the
it.
help.
Starfleet Boy can't do it all by himself, which is as is evidence. Like if I were just doing this, you do those great, by the way, by yourself streams. They're very engaging.
I don't have guests to deal with. I don't have people like me that I have to deal with. I just have me. You know what I mean? I just do me, and then I look at the comments, and that's it. But
Well,
I
yeah,
try to interact with as many comments as possible. That's what
yeah,
keeps.
it's so much fun. I think that's part of the fun of doing a live stream is and also just to have folks like Braxton join and be in there for a little bit. So hello, Braxton. We're just talking about this is the hype episode. We're just hyping on Trek and a lot of other things. So just feel free to ask us whatever you want. We have Ian. Without a plan to release it internationally, they are kind of forcing the international Trekkies into a life of piracy.
I kind of
I
agree.
am the Pirate King.
Hey, look,
uh,
no one can I suppose get behind illegal downloads and that kind of stuff. Like no one can say that that's a good thing. Um, but you need to find a way to distribute your shows
I've
legally
asked
and have them out there for people to watch. If you don't want that kind of thing to happen,
I've asked for we obviously will never get an answer to whenever we make requests of CBS directly, which I've asked lots of things. We don't get an official answer. But if anyone at CBS is watching this, it'd be really cool if you could figure out all the international rights. I'd I'd be willing to give to a fund to help my friends in the UK watch Star Trek legally. So I would donate like a GoFundMe that helped you pay for the lawyers or whatever you need to figure it out to get these things released at the same time internationally. It'd be wonderful.
I've been saying this for a long time, but I feel like we could have a just Star Trek um, video on demand platform, like an international just Star. Like people might say there's not enough content, there's not enough episodes, not enough movies, but Trekkies watch Star Trek. That's what they watch. They will sometimes maybe watch another movie or another show, but they like to have that library of just let's click on any Star Trek episode, and they're always on there.
I think for me it feels like CBS All Access is Star Trek dominated to a degree. There's definitely a lot of Star Trek on CBS All Access, but I have to admit, I didn't care about it at first. But like being able to watch like Murphy Brown and like some of these other shows, like Frasier, for example, that's just a plus as well. So I don't necessarily think that you need a separate platform because I genuinely think there's not enough people that would just only subscribe to a Star Trek platform to make it fully successful. I think you need the Murphy Browns and the CSIs and the
Okay,
the
fair.
talk, and stuff like
In any
that. You
case,
need
there are things like the Good Fight, the Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon. These are very, very successful shows, like internationally speaking, and these things are on CBS All Access. Um, so I think like they could CBS All Access should be available to the international market. I don't understand why it isn't.
we have some audience comments going directly out to CBS as well, which will probably not get answered, but I'll just post them here. We have a huge rainstorm happening outside, Sean. So the weather's against us. If I lose power, you're in control of the show.
You would defend piracy as it has little effect on the industry, and for some films allows exposure. Well, there's pros and cons, I think, to every aspect in life. I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose piracy can get like unknown artists, be it musicians or unknown directors and projects out there. Um, it's just a shame that there is, as of now, no kind of official legal way of seeing lower decks internationally.
I think. Do you think maybe Doctor Who kind of you know, it's funny, like a lot of folks in the UK are complaining about, like this, but as a Doctor Who fan on the US side, I actually was on the other side of this. When when Doctor Who relaunched in, I think it was, what was it,
2005.
2005. I had to jump through hoops to be able to watch it. Like they were like quite, like I tried to do it in as legal a way as possible, and it was offered for free on BBC's streaming service. So you could pay for something called a VPN at the time. I don't think there's a lot of restrictions nowadays,
Mm,
but this was a little bit more Wild West as far as the internet went, and I would pay for this VPN just so I could watch on the streaming platform, on the BBC streaming platform, and it would act as though I were there. So
yeah, I think that you can still do that today, but it's kind of like that's not.
it's a gray area or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
but I mean, I
We
did
don't endorse any of that on Starfleet, where we're just talking.
just saying it exists.
It just exists. Yeah, exactly.
I twat.
You
Put it.
twat. You did twat.
I
You
said,
twat.
I said, dear Alex Kurtzman, I think it's time we let people outside North America know where and when they can watch Star Trek Lower Decks. People want to see and enjoy the show.
You just quote that right now?
No. This was a while ago.
Oh, a while ago. Okay.
Even if you don't know yet, or you don't even plan to release it internationally, well, I think they'd like to know that too. At least just tell them. I think the silence is what's killing everyone. At least just say.
That's a nice Doctor Who reference that you didn't even know you made. The silence is what's killing everyone.
No, but I
That's
mean,
true.
seriously, even if you come out and say we're sorry, you will not be able to see it in Europe yet. But at least you've said it, right? At least you've
Right.
announced it. Just
Right. It's true.
not saying anything feels kind of anyway. The thing got 80 likes, so
Ooh, people agree.
people
All of the old Twilight Zone episodes on CBS All Access are very appealing streaming. Oh, I didn't realize the old ones are on there.
see
Oh, very cool.
if I had CBS All Access in the US, I would be watching because I'm watching the Twilight Zone 2019 at the moment. I would go back and watch that because did they have them? Did they have the old ones from like '59?
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, I
would
think,
love to see.
yeah. Rod Serling himself introducing them. Very cool. I agree about Lower Decks and the legality, but that's indicative of the state of Trek. CBS is not doing a good. Oh my gosh. Do you have an
Well,
answer for that?
listen,
Do you want to comment on?
you gotta
What's
know
that?
where the Reuben comment ends before you begin it, right? It's like you know how the aliens in Arrival they form their sentences from beginning to end because they know where it starts. This is Reuben.
Yeah, I can't read. I can't read them live. I think he does it on purpose to keep me on my toes.
I would
I
agree. I would agree that on a social media standpoint and on a distribution standpoint, CBS are not doing a very good job with Star Trek. We can debate all day about what we think of the success of the shows and the quality of the shows and that kind of stuff, but I just think that distribution and trailers like social media, that there should be one Star Trek YouTube channel that has everything and everyone can see it. You know what I mean? There should be one Star Trek Twitter account that everyone can see everything. Like there shouldn't be region blocks. We shouldn't have 50 trailers for different platforms for everything that comes out. You know what I mean?
Ruben, I have a question, a follow up question for your question. Like, was it so? The people that have kind of run Star Trek are NBC, right? Paramount and CBS. So, of those three, would you like them to go back to one of those do you think Star Trek would be in better hands with one of those studios, or you could propose a whole new studio
You
that you
want
think could
Disney,
run?
you just want Disney to buy everything.
I want Disney. I mean, I'm just curious what studio Ruben thinks would run Star Trek better than CBS,
I think it's not.
the
It doesn't.
current holder.
Does it depend really on the studio, or does it kind of depend on
Well, it
charge?
could. I don't know. I don't know. It could be a combination of the two things. I am not an insider. I have no idea. I have no inside sources.
I said Alex Kurtzman on doing a remaster, but then people told me that Alex Kurtzman has nothing to do with the remaster of Deep Space Nine, and that's a whole. Someone else has to deal with that.
He got that note and was like, "Nah, nah, I don't have anything to do with that."
I really
Send that
hope.
to send that to,
I
to
really
Steve
hope.
Harris.
I really hope that someone that got the note for the Deep Space Nine remaster didn't say, "Nah." I
I know.
really
I hope
hope
so
that's not
too.
the thing.
I agree. Um, I understand. I love Doctor Who. That's a shame you couldn't watch it without a VPN. Yeah, but then it became like now I think it's like the day of. I actually just now download them from iTunes once they became available on iTunes. I love Doctor Who enough that I just bought the seasons like instead of like waiting. So now I just download it on iTunes. I've already paid for the season pass.
Do you have the Apple Video on Demand service?
I do, and I love that
Apple
service. Apple
Plus,
TV Plus. Yeah,
Apple TV. Have you
yeah.
seen C?
What is it? Oh, with
Just
Jason Momoa. No, I haven't seen that one yet, but it looks pretty. I haven't seen it yet.
someone at work keeps on telling me that it's great.
Uh, Basically automatic. I'm not gonna. Oh, okay. Here, I'm just gonna put your comment up so that the audience can decide what they think. But I don't really have a. I don't know if I want to. This just seems like a topic I don't want to talk about on the hype show. This is the hype episode,
This
Ruben.
is the hype
Help.
episode. Come
Yeah,
on,
help me hype something. Talk about something we can hype about.
hype, hype. What are you hype about? Come on.
Hype about. We want to hype. Come on, get us hyping. Come on. um, I enjoyed Chris Eccleston and David Tennant, but Matt Smith and beyond just never appealed to me. I feel
I have
differently.
recently been watching a few Enterprise episodes that I twat about. I said this episode of Enterprise is great, and so he went and watched it, and he enjoyed a few of those Enterprise episodes.
Who's
Whereas
this?
Ruben,
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Ruben is not a big fan of Enterprise,
That's right.
and he's been so yeah. Be hype.
Uh, Robbie got my silence reference. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Yes, they do. They don't have the Twilight Zone series from the 80s. Oh, I remember there was one from the
They did multiple reboots or revivals or multiple
things like that.
reboots, resets, revivals, remakes. They did multiples.
I haven't seen the trailer for it. I've been meaning to. How about you?
What's that?
The Brave New World series. I'm excited about it. I like so I'm excited that there's a series.
That's right. It's
Do you know
Peacock.
anything?
It's going to exist as well. I remember that. I forget about that
Peacock.
bloody.
Ruben does like Peacock. It is free, by the way. You can watch it with commercials. It's available to everyone.
Okay.
There's
All right.
no.
Is it available in the Canada?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe Ruben, who's the Peacock expert, can answer that question in the chat.
Um, I think I saw the.
Whoa, that's heavy. I don't think I ever was conscious of this. It cost $12 million and 4 years to remaster TNG. That's chump change by today's. Elon Musk drops that out of his pocket when he walks to the store, and he's looking for a dime. $12 million just falls out of his pocket.
It's not even 2 episodes of Discovery. Come on.
So by today, if you accounted for inflation, what would it cost to remaster Deep
That long
Space
ago,
Nine?
I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Brave New World. I think I saw the trailer for that. But there are quite a lot of recent Netflix sci-fi shows that I haven't been watching. Because I watched Lost in Space, and you did too. Right? We both watched
Yeah.
Lost in Space. But then there was the other one. What was it? I Am Mother. Oh no, that was a movie.
Oh, I saw I Am Mother. I like that.
No, it was a movie. Was that good?
Ooh, yes. By the way, I finished Umbrella Academy season
Another
2,
Life.
and oh yeah, that was really good with Katie Sackhoff
I haven't seen Another Life.
from Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, I liked it.
Is the big
Um,
confirmation
ooh,
is
did you hear? Did you hear the thunder?
wow.
It's pretty intense.
There's a thing called Salvation.
Based on that thunder, Narek's sister can tell what planet I'm on and come and hunt me down.
Altered Carbon is all right.
Altered Carbon's a really good show too. Um, I really love Umbrella Academy season 2. By the way, it delivered. I feel, and I can't wait till season 3 now. Did you watch Umbrella Academy, Sean?
What's that?
You can't. It's too much, too violent.
Too cringe. I can't. It's just it makes me cringe.
Like
Just
all the violence. Is it the violence that bothers you?
just the crappiness of it.
Wow.
I know. I can't. I watched a few of the trailers and then I saw snippets of this and that happening. And I was like, I can't watch this. First of all, anything that involves time travel, I can't watch. It just pisses me the hell off because it's all crap.
See, this is where I think you would like Umbrella Academy.
Every time time travel is addressed in any kind of media, it's garbage, and I think it's cheap.
Even Back to the Future. Back to the Future, you think of as garbage?
That was time travel done. Like now, it's too much.
Don't you think it's Back to the Future's fault?
Maybe, but Back to the Future was at least comedy. It didn't take itself too seriously.
Right. That's how the Umbrella Academy is.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. It's a very funny show. It's dark humor, but it's very funny. I've been rewatching Enterprise.
Like Doom Patrol and that kind of those kind of shows.
I haven't seen Doom Patrol yet, but I will. That I know that Brendan Fraser is in it. That was something I found out recently.
Oh yeah. Well, I think you should watch something called where is it? Wait a minute. With Brendan Fraser. It's called Trust.
Trust. Okay, I'll check that out. I trust Brendan Fraser, so I'll definitely watch that. But
we want him back in the movie.
We do want him back. I've been rewatching Enterprise myself, and it's better than my first watch. Jolene Blaylock was great as T'Pol. I agree.
I hate T'Pol, but she's great as T'Pol. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Brave New World is great from the trailers. Peacock is in Canada.
Oh, all right. I might have to check that out.
And look, that's three people. That's three people talking to you right now that are saying that Umbrella Academy is great.
You know how many people told me that the Casa de Papel was good as well, or Money Heist?
What?
La Casa de Papel.
Oh, everyone's talking about that.
Money Heist
as well.
You know how many people told me that was good? It's absolute garbage.
Absolute garbage. Yes. Where's that scale? Where's your scale?
Where's my scale? I can pop it up if you want. Do you want my scale?
Yeah, I want to see the scale. You should definitely give UA a shot. Umbrella. Look, Braxton even is now. That's
goodness. If I hate it, guys, I'm gonna make a live stream about how much I hate it.
We'll have a follow up. We'll have a follow up. Okay, so here's the scale, by the way. So just so you know that Sean is not being intentionally rude, he does have a scale that he rates every.
I was actually being polite. See?
So this is the scale, and by the way, I think they're still gonna use this. I'm not sure, but we used to use this on Drunk Space Nine. So something could be absolute bullshit. It's the worst. It's like a 0. Bullshit. Bad. Mediocre. Average on the low side. Average on the high side. All right, good, great, and true greatness, which is what I gave every episode of Star Trek Picard.
It's technically out of 11. Well, it has 11 little points, but it's still from 0 to 10. It's because it enables you. It gives you a 0. It's not 1 to 10. You're allowed to give things a 0.
we got. Let's see. I don't want to watch the Umbrella Academy because I didn't like episode 1. Oh, it's so good though. How many episodes do you have to give a show before you can say it sucks? Like, what's the fair thing? 3 episodes? Is it 3 episodes or 1 episode?
Oh no, I don't do that. After 3 episodes, I don't think it's fair to judge a show after 3 episodes. I usually give it a season.
And you'll give if you commit, you go all the way.
Yeah,
to the season.
I'll do a season of a show, and then it'll come out good or bad or whatever it is. And then if I watch the second season, then I can say, oh, the sixth, because like I would average. That I would say that the first season of Discovery is mediocre, but I would say that the second season was it was average on the high side maybe. So it gives you like an average for the moment of over the 2 seasons, right? And that's how I kind of proceed in my ratings of things.
Ruben also wants you to watch. I guess so. You guys watch it together and either love on it or hate on it together. So maybe that could be something you could coordinate. To Paul and
There are other shows like Zoo is absolute bullshit, but it is the most funnest I've ever had watching a show because it was so
interesting
and so stupid and so terrible.
So like a wine tasting, your ratings are complex and layered. They're not just.
Zoo features ants stomping on the ground in unison to create an earthquake.
Oh.
Which is ridiculous, but I love it.
Wow.
Zoo features, they have like this signal that they have to get rid of in the middle of the town, and they put the signal in a car, and then they drive the car into a plane, and then they fly the plane over a volcano and drop the car into an active volcano just to get rid of the signal. And it is the most ridiculous
spoilers for Zoo. Anyone who would have watched that show.
Anything that will happen in Zoo. Anything. Nothing. I love it.
Stress-free K's in the house. Yay, welcome. And they say I'm kind of with Toddy. You're officially Toddy now.
Apparently. I like it though.
Totty. You're a Totty. Umbrella Academy is unintelligible. Really, try turning on the subtitles. I had to do it for my mom, and she liked it more when I did that.
You shouldn't have to turn on the subtitles to be able
Sometimes you have to, especially with accents that you're not familiar with.
Okay, fair enough.
1 to 3 episodes is what Ruben gives before he judges a show.
I feel like that's not enough. If you had given 1 to 3 episodes to TNG, then TNG would be cancelled. Because it was crap.
Episode 5 and still fall asleep trying to care what's happening. Wow.
I might have to try Umbrella Academy just to see if I was completely wrong, and if you guys were completely right. Maybe, or maybe I'll come out of it like maybe it'll reinforce my hatred of the show.
Braxton will go 3 or 4 episodes, but the first one has to like hook, be a solid episode.
I'll tell you what, Vikings had a very, very slow, kind of mediocre first episode. It was a very kind of meh kind of pilot. But then I really liked Vikings as it went along, and then it became the best show I had ever seen on TV, before becoming the worst. Like season,
it jumped the shark. Zoo is terrible. You get a PJ thumbs agreement on that one.
He says Afterlife is the best comedy on Netflix. Is Afterlife supposed to be a comedy?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
But it's sad.
It's a sad comedy in space.
Burp. Could you hear my burp? Is the ASMR speaker on, the microphone on?
I think so.
You did hear my burp. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Oh wait, Afterlife is not. I was thinking of something else.
I'd love it if Jolene Blaylock reprised her role as T'Pol on the upcoming Strange. Yes, New World
Would
Series.
she still be alive?
Yeah, I think so.
Where's my
it's only like Kirk is only like 100 years after Archer, and if she was like a sprightly young Vulcan, or even
sprightly, she was like 70 or something.
Well, Sarek is what, 239 when he dies?
Oh yeah.
Right?
I just saw him. He was in James Frayne. He was in a Twilight Zone episode with Rhea Seehorn. Rhea Seehorn is one of the best actors working on TV right now. She's Kim Wexler.
The 2019 Twilight Zone. Is that weird? Oh, okay.
Rhea Seehorn needs to lead her own show, her own Star Trek show. She needs to lead her own everything. She needs to be given 50 shows. She's amazing. I love her.
I didn't remember Jolene being in Starship Troopers. That's pretty cool. Now I gotta look for her when I go back and watch it.
We've been going on for almost 2 hours, but now it's picking up steam. We've got like more and more viewers as we go along.
Yeah, well, that happens. We didn't announce this. This was totally impromptu, by the way. This was just like
just because we have
has a day off. Yeah, I have a day off, and Trek on the Tube had some time, so we thought we'd come and hang out with you guys. Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery was very good, in my opinion. Season 1 was below average, but not bad.
Hmm.
Oh, here we go. Wait. Sean, nope. TNG had great foundations to build on and did a lot of great work. I cannot disagree with Ruben, but I just wanted to make sure you you got that. I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
put that on the screen for you. It
I've
would
seen
not.
it. I've seen
You're
so.
wrong. It would not be canceled. Oh, so Umbrella Academy for Stress Free K is like a boring version of the X-Men. I think they're actually a very spicy and flavorful version of the X-Men.
I think I'm over superhero teams at this point. Especially if they are like kind of young adult, edgy, uh, I want to be dark and gritty kind of thing. And I just can't get behind that. That's why I couldn't get behind Titans either. It's like, that's just not my hey. That's just not my kind of show. I think at this point, I really enjoyed The Boys, which
The
was kind of
Boys
like a
is, I
that was more of
agree.
a parody take on that.
Stress Free, what did you think of The Boys? Are you watching The Boys? Is The Boys in your
Everyone
on
should
your
watch The
playlist?
Boys because Jack Quaid is in it, and Jack Quaid is in Boimler.
On Lower Decks, which nice bringing it back to the hype
Also,
episode.
Carl Urban is in The Boys, and Carl Urban is Dr. McCoy in the Calvin Time.
Yep. There's a lot of nice little Trek tie-ins there. Trek tie-ins.
Trick
Uh,
Times.
we should bring back this segment.
What Trick
Fatherese
Times?
fears.
He's
I really like
not even
that's
here
my
anymore.
favorite. I know, but I just want to have Fatherese fears. Like it's like a really great. It's really good alliteration. Robbie says that I really enjoyed Discovery season 2, but I think that Pike played a major part of it. No offense, Discovery cast. I look forward to season 3. Yeah, we all kind of say
Hmm.
the same thing.
Well, everyone
Welcome to
agrees
the.
that Mike was a standout.
He was a standout. Anson Mount is a standout. Anson Mount's
Handsome, handsome,
amazing.
handsome Mount.
Handsome Mount. Is that what we're calling him now? Handsome Mount. I like that. Hello to German Trekkie. By the end of Enterprise, T'Pol is in her 70s.
Yeah. So
That's
she ain't
still
got
young. That's like 30 for a Vulcan.
too long to live. So by the end of Enterprise, we're talking like 20, 2155 maybe. What was it?
Yeah, I guess.
Or
PJ would know
70.
better than me. I don't know. Oh, you know what
So
we could put up?
yeah, she can.
Do
Yeah,
I have it here on my desk?
She can be in Strange New Worlds. She'll be like almost 200, so she'll be an old lady, but she can be there. What are you doing?
Sean, I was trying to share the timeline.
Uh,
We could pull up the timeline for a second. That would be cool if you got it on your computer.
I have it.
Um, oh,
I
sweet.
can I can pull it up.
Pull it up. Let's get it on there so the audience can see it, and we can give a little shout out to Gary and your efforts, and then talk about. Oh, this I've been wanting to. Oh, Gary should be here. Gary, if you're in the audience, let us know because you should be here to
So
talk about this.
he's
We
out.
will
I happen to know that he's out today. He's spending
in the
time with
Scottish
yeah
Highlands.
yeah.
Excellent
Where's
with
my
Mrs. Trekker Prize. Um, TV was very different in 1987 compared to today. 3 episodes of a modern show is a third of the season and is more than enough time to know if the show is going somewhere. That's a valid point. We'll talk about
wow
that here. I just want to add this to the stream. This is the Star Trek timelines created by Trek on the Tube. And could you zoom into Enterprise there?
there.
So 2155 to Paul is 70. So by the time Strange New Worlds rolls around, which is in the 2260s, late
Well,
right in
it's between this and that. So yeah, she'll be like 170 or something.
yeah.
Though I must say, all right, for the people out there, there will be corrections and alterations made to this. We have a long list, and I'm just thinking just now that this takes into consideration the 4 seasons of Enterprise, but considering the last episode is kind of a flash forward, maybe we have to alter the end date here. I'll have to look at
Mm.
when specifically the final episode of Enterprise takes place.
Like when the speech is given that Admiral Archer
Yeah,
gives,
because I
right?
feel like that episode is years after when this, like the other episodes of the series
So
ends.
you could do like a dotted line and do Enterprise start, Enterprise end,
I
continuity
guess.
wise or
Yeah,
something.
it's
I don't know.
it's we did this here to illustrate that a lot of time passes between here
Oh, you could
and
do a
then
similar thing for Enterprise because it's a skip. It's a time skip.
it is. It's a bit of a time skip. So
Yeah. Hey, I like this.
we
This
have to
is
correct our lower decks. We have to correct our Cerritos ship now because that's not what it looks like from the top view.
we now know that the little secondary compartment is extended further out.
But
We
we
actually
we were
saw.
basing this off just looking at trailers and stuff. So
We got some more comments.
and I
German
told
Trekkie.
we agreed that we had to do the little. These are behind the scenes details, but
Look at it.
we said
This is what
we have to do the cutouts because if we don't do the cutouts, then people will complain. And no one
I.
noticed.
No, I
Right.
noticed it. They're subconscious. So that's the thing, and I think Gary, who's not here, and we won't get into this without him, but part of why this is such a beautifully designed illustration is the attention to detail like that, which it works on a subconscious level. It honestly does. Like even if you don't necessarily notice it, it feels right because it is right.
Well, it's the teamwork. It's like we really both look into like what kind of details we can change and that kind of stuff. And we'll be doing that once we do our updated version.
I wanna be on that team. Can I be a consultant?
I'll be a consultant. You've got messed up views about timelines and stuff, so I don't know.
Just think of what that sounds like to our audience. Starfleet Boy has messed up views about timelines. Like, I want to destroy. I'm like the guy from that Voyager episode. I want to destroy whole planets to fix the timeline the way this is how we achieve the prime timeline.
Bill Wilson and you're the bad guy in Into the Spider Verse.
In year to hell, yeah, or year of hell. It's true. I would love to Paul on Strange New Worlds. So it looks like we have a. What's that?
It would be fun to have T'Pol on Strange New Worlds. It would fit into the tradition of very old Star Trek characters that are too old to be there, but that are there nonetheless to kind of lead these new shows on. I like that.
Fathery says he fears nothing, and I agree. Fathery does not fear anything. That was that's just a segment on our show called Fathery's Fears. That I love it. Um, so yes, to Paul is smart, funny, and a hottie like SFB and Todd. Wow, that rhymes. A total package. Call me by your Trek. I'm telling you, it's a thing.
We are the total package.
Kiwi cock. Uh, that's so much better than the spiky dildo. That's like the best thing we've ever. All these live streams, we come up with some real zingers here. Um, the Boys is fantastic. Season 2 comes out to. Oh my gosh, it's so close. Homelander is freaking scary. I agree 100%. And appropriately named, just saying. Uh, there could be a Strange New World crossover with Brave New World. It could be titled New World. Just New Worlds. That was good. Very nice.
Well, not Brave and Strange, just New World. I don't want Star Trek to cross over with any of these things. I don't want Star Trek polluted by any of these other shows.
The Boys are horribly mean spirited sci fi, the most hateful superheroes of all time, and I can't wait till season 2. It's so
That's
true.
the point of it, isn't it? That's what makes it so cool, so
It
different.
is true. All right, so what is this? What is this? 21. Oh, we got it.
There we
So
go.
21.
Okay,
Can you
so
pull the Do you mind pulling it back up? Can we see where that looks like? We could do a relative
pull it out
position.
again. Wait a minute.
By the way, I don't know. I know you don't really watch, but we use this a lot on Starfleet Boy. You
I
have limited
never,
time like me. We actually use this a lot. I didn't have it prepared today, but I love using this.
yeah. So I think the show goes on from 2151 to 2155, but then that last episode with the creation of the Federation, as Barik is saying, is probably 2161. Yeah,
So
I
like
had
right.
2163 in my mind. I don't know why.
Mm.
Um, but maybe that's because I was thinking of 2063, which is First Contact, right? Um,
Oh, right on.
we could maybe do like a little. I don't. I don't think we can do. We can just put it in as 2151 220, and then replace that by 61 here
Nice
instead of
shout
actually.
out from Robbie. Trekker Prize's Warm Blanket podcasts are great. He even got
Oh
Robert
yeah,
Picard. That was such a great episode too. I
for
learned
all
so
those
much
that
about Robert Picardo.
are worried, even though Trekker Prize is taking a break from the Twitters, the Warm Blanket podcast will continue on.
It will.
And he says that he can still share the Warm Blanket podcast on Twitter without necessarily going on Twitter, the app. Like you can share it directly from YouTube and that kind of
Right.
stuff.
You could. I've been scheduling tweets. Do you ever do that?
No, I don't do that thing. I don't trust these technology
It's,
things.
no, but it's built into Twitter. You can schedule tweets, and so I'll sometimes schedule one.
Oh yeah, I might schedule like a fuck Tuvix tweet to come out while I'm at work, so I don't see all the responses.
Let's schedule the end of our discussion. Because it is going on 2 hours, and I'm getting hungry on the tube. You don't
I,
want me to get you don't want me to get hangry on the tube here.
uh, um, we're free all
I
day.
get,
We could just go and eat and then do another one.
we might, we might come back. You're supposed to do one with PJ at some point, so maybe.
We're doing that at some other time.
Oh, okay. But if you were, I would say I just hop onto that. So yeah, audience, we're gonna go take a food break. We
He's
might be
gonna bring his
back.
TV.
What's that?
He's gonna bring his TV back. He's gonna
Oh
exchange the
yeah,
TV. That's
oh,
it.
that's
That's what's
right.
going
Yeah, we're gonna. Starfleet boy can't hang in the daytime. He gets too tired. I need a little. I guess I could daytime drink on today. It is my day off. I could do it. I mean,
on.
it's a little much. I don't think I'm gonna do that. Just daytime drink the water.
Water.
Water. I use Hootsuite to post to various. Ooh, that's an unsolicited. And there you go. Ribbon.
He's like,
All right,
hey,
someone in the audience, take us out with a with a little. Look, we're hungry, toddy hottie. The toddy thing is gonna. We're gonna have shirts called hashtag toddy. It'll be great. By the way, there is such a thing as a hot toddy, which is a drink that is somewhat medicinal.
oh really?
Maybe that's what we'll end this on. But if you're ever feeling sick,
That's
if
what you're
you're
eating.
if you're ever feeling sick or under the weather, you make a cup of tea, black tea preferably, right? And then you put honey, lemon, and ginger and mix it into the tea. And then you add a stick of cinnamon into that. And then you top it off with a little whiskey, like a half shot, maybe a whole shot, depending on what kind of mood you're in. So you top that off with whiskey, and it's very medicinal. It tastes really yummy.
Is it medicinal, or do you just think it's medicinal because it's got that whiskey in it?
I don't know. I like what modern parent. You're the expert on modern parenting, new parenting, and new parenting. But
New age parenting.
yeah, but my parents used that remedy first when we were kids. Now they say they only put like the most negligible amount of whiskey in it just to give it the flavor.
Okay,
Um, so I don't know, but your mom might have done something like that or
I highly
had
doubt
something
that.
like that.
I highly doubt it. I
Okay.
highly doubt she would have alcoholed me in such a way.
Well, that's our next question for mom on the tube. But anyways, audience, this was so much fun. Hanging out. What is this? Drinking your fine with.
Just a moment
This
of.
is how we're gonna end it. Thank you for always coming in with the best.
Is that a Picard reference or something?
It is. It's always he's always doing this
It's
to me.
always a Picard reference.
Drinking
It's
your
always
fine whiskey in your suburban home. It's true. I am gonna go make a. I actually am gonna go make myself a hot toddy, because voice performers we have to rest our throats. But anyways, audience, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We might be back. We'll see you soon, but we'll definitely be back on Thursday for our Lower Decks reaction slash discussion. And then you can always catch us on Friday nights with Starfleet Boy After Dark, usually around 10 p.m. Eastern, maybe a little
explain to
later.
me what you do on that show,
So what we just
because
did right now
I
is
haven't seen any episode of Starfleet Boy After Dark. What happens?
If it's After Dark and we do this exactly what we just did right now, it's Starfleet Boy After Dark.
Okay.
This one
So
falls
this is
under
this
Starfleet
is like
Boy. This is a
before
Starfleet Boy
dark.
live stream. No, it's a Starfleet Boy live stream. It's
Okay.
official live stream.
But
Oh,
but
and
but it's
Starfleet Boy After Dark's not official.
oh, okay.
It's not official. It's Starfleet Boy After. It's a whole different Twitter and everything. There's which, by the way, you can follow Starfleet Boy SFB
Oh,
After
I
Dark.
follow everything. It's just I don't know what I've never seen any of the Starfleet Boy After Dark shows because after dark I'm either sleeping or at work.
Yeah,
I don't
it's not a
live.
show for dads. Sorry,
Oh, it's not a show.
it's for the single. It's for the single set in the audience. People
It's for
just
the
need
it's for the single men that have their man cave that they can retreat to.
and women and other species as well.
Everyone has a
So
cave
everyone has a
that they
cave.
can
So
retreat
yeah.
to and watch the Starfleet Boy After Dark.
And then there's also our Star Trek the original series discussions, which we're doing on Saturdays. And then we'll be doing Star Trek Discovery discussions when Lower Decks ends. And then sometime next year, after we've all caught a breath, we're gonna do Star. I assume we'll do Star Trek Prodigy. Maybe I'm not sure if we're gonna hit that one, but and then definitely Star Trek Picard season 2.
And then there's
Oh, and
also going to be
Strange New
Strange
Worlds.
New
Yeah,
Worlds,
duh.
probably
Yeah.
Section 31,
Oh my
and there'll
gosh.
be a billion other projects announced at that point.
Call Me by Your Trek. It just never ends. In fact, if I ever do a daytime stream like this, it'll always be called Call Me by Your Trek from now on. So that's the official. There's a whole new Starfleet Boy show.
I have to see that
Lots.
movie, but you know.
Do you have anything to promote before we sign off, Sean?
No,
Yes, you do.
I've released my Take My
Yes.
Worf song.
Yes.
If you want to go and check that out and have a laugh,
Could
because
we have played it, or would we get a copyright strike because your channel?
you can't play
Like-
it because I'm not allowed to monetize it. I think.
But
because
even I don't monetize. I'm not monetized.
No, but I don't know. I don't know. Hey, look,
Okay.
I'm using the instrumental from someone else, which means that I can't. Anyway, it's a whole thing. So
Got it.
I think it comes under maybe fair use. I don't know. Anyway, it's not about my quality of singing. It's about the funniness of the lyrics. That's what it's about. So if
It
you want
is.
to check that
It's
out.
true.
And
Although
then
you
that's it.
are a musical performer in another life, and then also also just generally check out Trek on the Tube. I really enjoyed watching your Star Trek the original series review after doing
for the
my Star Trek. Yeah, so it was very cool. So there's all the things. Just go to Trek on the Tube, check it out. And while we're at it, please also check out Kurtratz, Ketwalski, Text Trek, Trekker Prize. Who else? Who am I missing? Come on, help me out here. PJ. Oh my gosh, Boat Trek.
Correct, it's triangular.
PJ's gonna be so mad. He's gonna be like, "You always forget me." No, I don't. I try to.
German Trekkie, JC Gender.
Oh, Jesse Gender, of course. Trek Lad, Continuum Trek.
Right.
Did we already mention German Trekkie and Continuum Trek and Triangulum Studios? Wow.
Yes. Larry Nemechek. Does he even need
Larry
a shout out?
He doesn't need a shout out, but he should get one anyway. So yeah,
Go
all those
support his
places.
YouTube channel. He's on the
Go
YouTube
support
channel.
these YouTube channels. It's a really great, and we love that you guys came. Lots of great things, and we are ending the stream.
The Irish Trekkie and the Trick Collector.
Yes.
The originals. And Trick
And
Out.
Junk
They don't-
Ball
they don't need a
Media.
shout out. They don't need a shout
Junk
out, these
Ball.
people.
Oh my God, there's so
Trexpertise.
many. We're just gonna have to create like a list and do credits of like it's so there's so many. It's true.
I am subscribed to and seventh rule. I am subscribed to exclusively Star Trek channels with Trick on the Tube, and there are 59.
Oh wow,
And I'm sure I'm missing some, but
that's
that's a
very
lot.
cool to know. That's your list though. All right, go check out Trek on the Tube's list, and we'll